When I walk in the spot, this is what I see. Everybody stops and is staring at me. I got passion in my
notebook,
and I ain't afraid to show it, show it, show it, show it.
I'm a journalist,
And I know it.
Hey, I'm Brittany Overacker. And I'm Stephanie Kelly, and this week we asked Cherubs, what is one trait that all journalists should have?
For me, I think it's got to be integrity, because integrity when you're writing is going to improve all other parts of your journalistic skills. You know, if you have integrity when you talk to people, you quote them, they're going to give you their best thoughts, they're going to respect you on every issue.
I think that every journalist should have a sense of their role in the community.
I think every good journalist has to be persistent, because even when you're not getting the story at first, you just have to keep going until you get it.
I feel as though that all journalists really need to have, they can't have a fear of rejection. I mean, time after time you have to go for interviews, people that you might not know and people that really might not want to talk to you, but you still have to keep on plowing forward despite rejection, and you just have to know that eventually the story will come across. You just have to keep plugging along and it'll come eventually.
Every journalist should be able to go ham and go hard in the paint.
I think journalists really need to be relentless. They cannot give up if they're being cold-shouldered by organizations or anyone they want to interview, any information they need to get. They can't just be told to go home and give up.
All journalists should have is determination to go out there and see the world.
I think that every good journalist should have a strong sense of ethics.
Every good journalist should have a sense of curiosity so that you can have the motivation to go on interviews and find out information about your subjects.
A journalist should be attractive. I mean, how else are they going to get people to talk to them?
I think that one essential trait is resilience. After the all-day stories that we had yesterday and writing 11 articles, I really realized that it is important for all journalists to just keep going no matter how tough the situation gets.
They should be confident so they can talk to people on the street.
Are you sure?
Should we throw it one more time right now? Wait, yeah, there are 15 categories. Let's go.
Determination. TFTC.
Sometimes during an interview you don't get the answer you want from somewhere, you don't get a good quote, you kind of have to like work around that and keep asking good questions to get the quotes and get the answers you want.
Female journalists should all know how to run in high heels.
You have to be willing to stalk people.
Audacity. Because if you're not bold enough to approach a new subject or talk to someone new, then you can't really get your story correctly. So
probably dependability, because you're not going to give the story to the writer who's not going to get it in by deadline.
A good journalist should be objective. They should be able to report on a story without interjecting their own personal belief into it.
In my opinion, a good trait a journalist should have is to be observant and be able to evaluate what story are newsworthy, what is not, and be able to express the news and the importance of the news clearly.
Being able to understand your sources and their perspectives, and being able to balance out your articles so both sides are represented.
I think one trait that's really important for all journalists to have is curiosity, because without curiosity, they don't really have a drive to find the truth in a lot of things.
I think a trait all journalists should have is dedication, because to go that extra mile to get a quote, to do a story, you're going to have dedication and perseverance. You're going to have to keep going and keep striving for more. And if you really want to have a good story, you have to have all the facts straight, you got to have AP style, and you got to get all the quotes right. So I think dedication is the most important.
A journalist should be cutthroat, They have to know how to get spit listed not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of an hour.
And next week's question is, should journalists ask people news that they want or news that they need? Stay tuned.
Every day I'm shuffling.
3, 2, 4, 5,